It hasn't been widely reported because I think it's controversial, but I think there's enough evidence. I'm of the belief that there's enough evidence that some very powerful people created our current education system to generate factory workers that would help them.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that that's, a conspiracy theory. But with that said, we have a system that is so outdated. And it is my belief that the system has created test takers, not pathfinders. Yeah. And we wonder why so many young adults, and particularly young men, come out of the system, which is from the 9th grade on, get the best grades you can get, get a good ACT, SAT, get into a good school, get a good degree so you can get a good job. And that doesn't play out. And the good job sucks a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to weigh in on the irrelevancy. I think our current education system is irrelevant and it is creating despair.
So let me frame this up from a little bit of like my perspective of not just sharing many of the same frustrations. I've served on so I'm in the Virginia House of Delegates. I've served on the Education Committee for 4 years. I was the subcommittee chair for the subcommittee on higher education. So I'm not coming at this purely from either a personal experience as a student or a teacher or whatnot. I'm also coming at it from the standpoint of a legislator, a lawmaker, and having a lot of interaction with this industry. And I call it that for a reason. There is no doubt that a lot of what we have used to inform our public school system was originally based off of a Prussian system that was designed to make very good conscripts, right? Yep. Now, let's be generous. You're living in Prussia. You're constantly getting invaded all around. You really need a citizenry that you can rely upon to become good soldiers when it becomes necessary to defend your country. Okay, I can have some sympathy for why you might have constructed a school system to achieve that. Then you start to look at how our own school system is developed, especially, you look at Rockefeller's influence, you look at Dewey's influence. And so what I try to get people to understand is let's not assume that any of this was nefarious, just for a moment, for argument's sake. What you did was you created a mass production approach to education, and you are going to get mass-produced results. Now, theoretically, they can be better mass-produced results. They can be worse mass-produced results, right? That can all within the realm of possibility. But now enter in somebody like John Dewey that views education as an opportunity to not create good critical thinkers or even good conscripts or factory workers, but now believes that what the school system is there for is to essentially separate the child from the parents in order to push certain philosophical and political ideologies.
That's right. You want to know something really scary? You might be sleeping on poison. That's right. No drama here. Most mattresses are full of polyurethane foam, synthetic fibers, and chemical flame retardants. But this is why I love my avocado green mattress. They're made with certified organic materials that help you sleep cooler, deeper, and healthier. And you're not sacrificing comfort either. Don't let your bed be haunted by chemicals. Head to avocadogreenmattress.com/Ken today, and you can take an extra $50 off the sale price with the code KEN50. Avocado, dream of better.
Now, you might look at that if you're someone that believes in parental rights and say that's horrible. Understand, John Dewey didn't think he was doing anything bad. A lot of the other people that have infused things like critical theory into education, they don't think they're doing anything bad. They think they are rescuing these poor children from the ignorance of their parents who couldn't possibly be able to educate them and raise them in the way that they should go. I mean, after all, they don't even have a master's degree. How could that be possible? And I think once we start to understand that when you create a mass-produced system that everyone has to pay for, regardless of whether or not you use it, but the vast majority of people use, you now create an incentive for people that want to use a system in order to push an ideology to work themselves into positions of power and authority within that system. That's where we're at.
That's right.
And no one's going to convince me otherwise because I have seen it from multiple angles now. It doesn't mean everyone in that system is bad or nefarious. I'm not saying that. But there are a lot of people that have a worldview and an ideology where if you are a Christian, if you are someone that believes in maybe the classical liberal tradition of like John Locke, if you're someone that believes that the founding fathers did a pretty good job of demonstrating what government should look like, if you believe, as John Adams did, that our Constitution was created for a moral and religious people and is totally unsuited to the government of any other, that is probably not being reflected in the university your child goes to. And it's at this stage, it's not being reflected in the public school system that they go to. There are some exceptions, but it's not the norm anymore.
If you like this highlight, click here for the entire conversation.